Where does it begin? Where does it end? And where am I within it? To ask this question rejects the truth of one evolving infinite. I was, I am, I will be silence if I allow my essence. Yet here I am to begin for you, embracing luminescence. I'm called Matthew Ewing, but that is not my name. I was given that title by my parents who had never even met me. Since then, I've rejected all titles and come to know the truth of who I am. The liberation that I've achieved through that act is something that gives me an immense amount of joy and peace. Two things that are severely lacking in this world. So I'd like to give away what I've come to possess within myself. That way all existence can benefit from the work that I've already done. I'll do this in an unfolding pattern. I've come to find that nature is built in an order of threes: body, mind, and spirit. So all of my teachings will be along that vein. When I say teachings, I mean expressions of the understandings that I've gained. I don't set out to teach anyone anything, nor do I set out to learn from anyone. I just set out to experience. My unique experiences have taught me a lot, and now I'm about to give lessons on them. They'll come in 3 parts, each one of them 15-minute segments. The first of which is foundations. That's the lesson I'm going to give today. The lesson on foundation breaks down into 3 parts of its own. The first one is origins. And I will discuss the origins of the body, the mind, and the spirit of the singular individual. With foundations, you can build a steady structure. Without them, you can't build anything. Take this as a way to understand where I'm coming from, so you can follow me, keep up with me, walk side by side with me, where I'm going. So I'll start with the beginning, and we'll move forward from there. The body. The body that is so necessary for interaction for this planet, the thing that is the ambassador and the first conscious conduit for everything that we experience during this lifetime, is nothing more than a collection of chemicals. At this point, any one of you could research that and find out that it's exactly true. Now, I'm not saying it to diminish what the body is or its capacities. In essence, I'm actually saying it to revere that such a innocuous thing as just a gathering of molecules could be so profound in its application. To discuss the origin of the body is to discuss the origin of matter. All matter came into existence during the Big Bang. In one blinding instance, it went from stillness to absolute activity, light and sound. It spread out as fast and as far as it could, and then it began slowing down, spinning in imaginative cyclones and vortex patterns that coalesced into galaxies. Galaxies coalesced into solar systems. The debris of those solar systems coalesced into spheres that we call planets. One of those planets is Earth, the one that I belong to. The one that has nurtured and grown this body and my existence this time, every step of the way. The chemicals that have come to make up my body uniquely come from this earth. I'm made of carbon and water and calcium, electricity, silicone, or silicate, nitrogen, oxygen. All of those things up to this point uniquely exist only in that combination right here. So my body grew as a unique outgrowth of the nature of this planet. It came into existence through the chance and consequences and choices and convergence that are unique among the life on this planet. Once human beings survived all of the tests that they had to go through to prove that they're worthy of continued survival, they began a process of trying to replicate and reproduce. That process, over thousands of years, has led to my individual life. This instinctive moment in which I'm a part of, and all of the other now 7 billion people of this planet are a part of with me. That is the origin of my body. It began as light, and then it became matter. That matter became life, and that life progressed to human, and then that human gave way to I am. In this unique moment, my body is but a vessel that allows me to make the noises necessary for me to communicate to you ideas. Those ideas are generated through the command center of my body, which is my mind. The next topic in the next triangle of the foundation is the mind. The conscious, rational, and discerning mind. I don't ask anymore, where does the mind start? Because that's the inappropriate question. My mind, my brain, the organ, came to be through the same process of evolution that my body did. It underwent the same process. It was first just the small mind of a fish. Then the body evolved to a mammal, a deeper layer of the mind enwrapped my fish mind, and I got a reptilian mind. And then after that I got a mammalian mind, and then a primate mind, and then a human mind. This is a scientific understanding, and it measures only the growth of the material. But the material is never enough to understand how something as small as 2 pounds, something that could sit in the palm of your hand, could be capable of so much complex thought, imagination, discernment. All of those things are the capacities of the mind, but don't really help you to understand what it is. The mind, as I've come to understand it, is a unique tool allowing us to weigh and measure the material world. Nothing else. There's a school of thought that elevates reason as the greatest truth-finding instrument, but it is simply one of them. And only one of the parts that the mind deploys when it's actually trying to come to terms with the nature of existence itself. Reason is a powerful tool. Imagination is a powerful tool. Thought is a powerful tool. But because they all have the same origin, the same place, and they all return to the same thing in the end, they're no more or less powerful than any of the other constituent parts that are necessary to live. In the simplest form, the mind is a tool. It came into existence, its origin came as a result of a need, a desire to understand unique individuality and to understand all of the constituent parts of matter. There's no such thing as using your mind too much. It is meant to be used. Use it freely and joyously. And the honesty of it is, if it's not a reasonable or logical conclusion, most often it's not based on anything that is substantive, anything that will make it through your consciousness actually questioning it, asking what it's about. So use your mind to do just that. Question and seek the truth of all things. If you're using it for that purpose, then you're using it for the purpose of which it was created for, and you'll get fruit of the same color for that. What drives thought is the third triangle, and the portion of us that creates all of the motivation that we need in order to make sure that we just live. And that's the spirit. The spirit in and of itself extends past the time scale. I could tell you, using my mind and the information that it's gathered, that we believe the universe to have come into creation 14.5 billion years ago. And for this galaxy, a little over 3.5 billion years ago. My spirit has been in existence well beyond the concept of time. It's what actually drove all creation to coming into existence in the first place. It has existed as stillness. It has embodied light, and it has went through all of the phases of evolution in various different forms in order to get to where I am right now. It is the one truly immortal and undefinable portion of who I am. So the question of its origins is a question of origins themselves. Is there anything that truly begins? Ask yourself that question, and then trust the answer that you receive. The spirit is what drives you to need and want to know these things for themselves, because they point, these questions, these unique questions, point at the very fundamental truths that make up all existence. The truth is, 99.9% of existence is empty space. That empty space clothes itself in light and takes on different forms in order to interact with one another. But it does not change the sameness of the empty space that is the majority of what makes it. The spirit, in essence, is what drives us, what calls us, what breathes us, what gives us the desire to laugh and love, to grow, to question. It is the awareness. It is a consciousness. It is a stillness. It is that portion of ourselves which is completely contented, no matter what the turbulent outgrowth of our life might be. It's that which remains constant, because it cannot be threatened, it cannot be changed, and it cannot be moved. By understanding these constituent parts, I come to a totality understanding. One that comes basically with the liberation of a life. The understanding itself states first that all things are exactly the same. Not equal, but the same, because they all came from the same place. All thoughts, all information is neutral, because it all comes from the same place. And all things possess a spirit, because they are all of the same complexion. I am who I am. And in this moment, all that exists is here with me, and because that's true, I am free. I will leave you here. Let peace run in your heart. Let scrutiny and the fires of rational thought run through your body. And let your spirit be the wind that drives it all. Goodbye.